Hello everyone! Wowhead has uploaded a cutscene in relation to the Runecarver's memories. This one, it apparently becomes available after you've collected 15 memories, which, understandably so, not everybody is done quite yet. So do be warned, spoilers ahead. If you want to experience it for yourself in the game, I can completely understand. If that's the case, then please turn off the video right now. For those that are sticking around, let's take a look at one of the memories revealed by the Runecarver.
Look at you, pathetic. A puppet dancing on strings.
I will not break. I will not break. I will not.
Fool, your mind is already broken. But even a broken thing can be made to serve. Countless secrets extracted. Insidious designs forged into weapons for my armies. But I require more. Your grandest design to claim the final prize. The secret that the first one sought to hide. Yes, your finest warblade. And a crown fit for the king of the damned. The vessels of domination.
I love how during the Shadowlands, bits and pieces of the lore they get revealed and explained, while at the same time it also creates a whole bunch more questions. So the Runecarver, that's the one that we run into in the Tower of Torghast. Chained up and without his memories, his mind has been broken. We help him out, and in exchange he helps us with crafting some very sexy legendary gear. A lot of you already figure that the Runecarver is actually the missing Primus of Maldraxxus. The Primus has been said to be this master crafter. The sword that we empower with the runes in Maldraxxus, it looks quite familiar. He left us warnings about the jailer breaking out of the maw, and apparently he left his seat of power in search for answers. It could definitely be a thing that during his travels, the jailer or one of his allies were able to trap the Primus, but it's not a certainty quite yet. More memories will have to be revealed, I suppose. I do find the line about "look at you, a puppet on strings" to be very interesting, because it could be in relation to the Runecarver, the Primus being trapped here in Torghast, dancing to the will of the jailer and he's just dissing him. Or perhaps the jailer is referring to the Primus being part of this great cycle, this great purpose, the whole Shadowlands squeezing anima and keeping things going. The thing that the jailer wants to tear down, like you're a puppet of this system, of the first ones. Look at you now. The cutscene, it also shows us that the Runecarver is being tortured by the jailer, extracting delicious designs to empower his army. The grandest design to claim the final prize, the secret that the first one sought to hide. Your finest Mournblade, and a crown fit for the king of the damned, the vessel of domination, presumably Frostmourne, and the helmet of domination, fit for the Lich King. This is an important piece of the puzzle, because we were uncertain about the connection between the jailer and the helmet. We learned from Bolvar that it is the jailer that's the true master of the helmet, and he fears that if he would travel with us to the Maw, he will become bound to his will. There's also the runes on the jailer that line up with runes on Frostmourne, and then the Ufer Afterlife short, where Devils loudly proclaims that the power of the Maw itself, it runs free on the mortal worlds. Their realm is imperiled, and their path is flawed. We knew that there was a connection there, but the how was uncertain. Was this perhaps armor of the jailer to contain his awesome power? Was it crafted to tap into the powers of the Maw and then accidentally made its way to the mortal world? But as it turns out, it was crafted in order of the jailer with a clear purpose. The book that comes with the collector's edition, it describes it as a pact needed to be made. Only then could she, Sylvanas, return beyond the veil. Only then will the Banshee Queen claim the crown of the false king. The helm of domination was crafted to be their way forward. Instead, the one seared by the flames of life, Bolvar, he has used it to keep them at bay. but no longer. Crafted with a specific purpose. But how does that line up with the original story that we already know about the creation of the Lich King? That part does not come from the domain of death, rather from the domain of disorder. It was Kil'jaeden the Deceiver that took the spirit of the orc Ner'zhul and tortured it, tearing his physical body bit by bit, while his spirit was kept alive, intact, and utterly aware of what was happening. A group of dreadlords took turns subjecting Ner'zhul to the most horrific agony, until he soon enough begged for death, and Kil'jaeden were granted to him, but only in return for absolute servitude as the Legion's new weapon. Death would be just the beginning. Kil'jaeden passed the orc spirit through death and revived him as a spectral entity. The orc's consciousness expanded 1,000-fold, granting him extraordinary psychic powers. The dreadlords bound his disembodied spirit to a specially crafted set of armor and a mighty runeblade called Frostmourne. These items were locked in a diamond-hard block of ice to imprison Ner'zhul. They then sent him off to Azeroth, and the story of the Lich King played out. Ner'zhul, he wasn't loyal to Kil'jaeden, worked against the plans of the Legion to conquer the world. Arthas would merge with him and become the Lich King, and through force of will, Arthas clawed his way through the orc's mental wounds and tore apart Ner'zhul's mind. As the Lich King's body sat motionless on the frozen throne, Arthas took complete control. In this process, it was agonizing for Ner'zhul. Not only did Arthas drown him in his guilt, but he deliberately snapped the bonds of his sanity, causing the orc to spiral further and further into despair. When the final battle was through, nothing remained of Ner'zhul but a wail of sorrow in the back of the Lich King's consciousness, and Arthas found it easy to ignore. While the Lich King played out, we defeated Arthas, and Bolvar was placed on the throne, holding back the Scourge, and now we know the forces of the Shadowlands. So the origin as we know it comes from Kil'jaeden and the Dreadlords, but some way, somehow, it was the Jailer that was responsible for the creation of the helmet and the blade, assuming that is what they're talking about in this cutscene. How exactly does that work? Well, there is a rather interesting book to be found in Revendreth after you've done the Sanguine Depths dungeon. It is called Enemy Infiltration Preface, and I've done a much more detailed video on this, but real short, it pitches the idea that the realm of death, it has infiltrated all the different cosmic domains: life, light, void, order, and disorder.
The cunning ones kneel before 6 masters, but serve only one.
And as previously discussed, our position within the plane of disorder is proceeding flawlessly. Consuming fell energy is not a pleasant process, but a necessary one. The deception that you have architected will bear fruit in the ages to come. As ever, we shall serve as your unseen hand. We will poison every host foolish enough to invite us into their midst. I remain, as always, your faithful servant. The book is found in a tower called Spire of Unseen Guests. That's a term used by Bel'Nazad himself to describe the Dreadlords, Talkatoon, or Unseen Guests in our language. The similarities between Sire Denethrius and the Dreadlords, they were also quickly pointed out. Perhaps the Dreadlords are actually agents from the realm of death that had infiltrated the domain of disorder. They deceived the Deceiver, making him believe that they were working on the plans of the Burning Legion. Well, actually, they were working towards the plans of the Jailer. As I said, with the answers that we get, there's also a whole bunch more questions. I'm curious how something like Mal'Ganis fits in the picture. Mal'Ganis, he was surprised to be struck down by Frostmourne, while his soul was not absorbed by the blade. When the Dreadlords crafted Frostmourne, they had shielded themselves from its power. I wonder how that fits in all of this. Not to mention that Mal'Ganis, he went on quite a hate campaign towards the Lich King. Perhaps them letting Ner'zhul and Arthas merge was truly a mistake towards their overall goals. Perhaps the Ner'zhul influence and then Arthas himself put quite a dent into the plans of the Jailer. And I'm also curious how Sylvanas fits in this story. More and more clues are coming to the surface that it was the Jailer that has guided the story of the Lich King. A lot of the story that we've known, it now gets its actual roots and origin in the domain of death. If Sylvanas was super pissed at Arthas for what he had done to her, wouldn't she then feel the same towards the jailer if he was the one that brought the Lich King to the world? Or was Arthas a mistake, not part of their plan? Or has Sylvanas just not been informed about that little detail? Who knows? Time will tell. And of course the jailer, he once again makes mention of the first ones, completely shrouded in secrecy. There's still a whole lot more to be revealed, and I can't wait to see it. But for now, here's my reaction to the cutscene. So thank you very much for watching, everyone. Subscribe if you like my videos. Leave a like if you enjoyed this one. And until next time, see ya!